Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Be Amplified podcast. I'm Amy Patee, the show host. Thanks for being here. And for those of you brand new listening in for the first time, this is a show for soulful female entrepreneurs who want to let their most radiant, beautiful, natural energy shine through in their business and really all of life. So we talk a little bit of human design here. We talk energetics. We talk business. We talk strategy. We talk real life experiences that we all go through. There is a lot of normalizing here, I think, because part of my intention with this podcast is to be able to just really speak candidly to you about this journey of being an entrepreneur. If you are familiar with the human design system, in human design, I'm a 3-6 profile. And knowing your profile can be so helpful in terms of doing business for yourself, how you do business, how you market yourself. That's one of the main tools I think that human design offers us in terms of our marketing is our profile, because your profile is this archetypal energy that you, in a way, dress up in every day. And when you understand it, you can step into it more fully, and there will be greater resonance between you and the world, and in business between you and your ideal clients. Okay, so circling back, my profile is a 3-6, and the threes are the experimenters. They are all about trial and error, and essentially they try a lot of different things, and they're really figuring out what doesn't work. So I can say that is so true for me. I have done so much as an entrepreneur throughout my 25 plus years of being self-employed. I have done so much in the wellness industry. I have, created products in all different ways. I produced a large scale yoga conference years ago with a partner. I've just dabbled. I've dabbled and dabbled and dabbled in everything. And it's been difficult being a 3-line. And because my 3-line is my first number, you have 2 numbers in your profile. Mine is a 3-6. Being a 3-line for me has been difficult because there is this trial and error process and you're really figuring out what doesn't work. It can feel like you never succeed at anything. And it's also can be a lot to try everything, to continually pivot and reinvent yourself and build something new and build something else, and can be kind of exhausting. So if you have a 3-line in your profile, especially if it's your first line, I feel for you. And it was such a relief to learn about my 3-line. It really allowed me to have more acceptance for my own journey and to actually embrace it and to understand that my success actually is in my failures. And I truly actually believe that for everybody. When you fail at something or when you try something out and realize, wow, this doesn't really work, or it doesn't work for me, or it doesn't work in the way I thought it was going to work, there is success in that. There is wisdom that comes through that. Now, my second line is a 6, and the 6 is the role model, but the role model develops slowly over time by gaining wisdom through lived experience. And I am 48 years old. The 6 line really doesn't start to blossom fully until it moves into its 50s and beyond. So I'm super excited for the next couple of years to unfold and to really live out this experience of the 6 line and see if things start to feel a little bit more grounded, and maybe I'll even feel a little bit more successful with whatever I'm doing over the course of the next couple of years and into my 50s. It's really supposed to be the time where the 6 line comes off the roof, or a time of integration to really begin to fully role model and be the sage in their life. So I went and riffed a little bit on all of that right now, but it does lead me into what I actually want to talk to you about today. But first, let me just say that if you don't know what your profile lines are, go download your free human design chart. You can do that following the link down below in the show notes, and grab your chart, and your profile will be listed near the top. And just take a peek at it. Learn what your 2 numbers are. Every number, again, represents a very specific archetypal expression that you are here to embody. and kind of act out on the world stage. And when you understand your profile numbers, especially in relation to your marketing or being in business for yourself, it can really support you in cultivating strategies that work with your archetypal energy. And I recall now, the reason I actually brought up the whole profile here in the beginning was because on this podcast, I am sharing my experience. And I mentioned this process of normalizing what being an entrepreneur really is like, especially a soulful, a conscious entrepreneur, a female entrepreneur, maybe an entrepreneur in the wellness or lifestyle space. What is it really like behind the scenes? That's really what I'm here to share with you because my 3 line forces me to experiment with a lot of different things. So I get a lot of different experience that I can then share with you here on this podcast. And then my 6 line, the role model, needs to be stepping out and sharing my personal story of transformation and how I've gotten to where I am. What are the transformational experiences that I've gone through to get here? As a 6 line, I need to embody the wisdom I've gained and share it really just by walking with it, to be honest. But storytelling, in this case through a podcast, storytelling can be a really powerful way to use those 2 energies. If you learn your profile and you're like, I don't really know what this means, or I can't make sense of it, you can always schedule a one-on-one human design reading with me, and we can specifically look at that. And there is a link below in the show notes as well to do that. So I highly recommend, if you've never gotten a human design reading, to get one because it can be mind-blowing and so supportive in understanding yourself at such a deep level. Human design really reveals how to utilize your vehicle, your body, your mind, your energy, so that your soul, your deeper essential self, can shine through with ease. Check all of that out if you are interested. Now, zooming in on what I actually want to talk about today, which is about building bridges or creating maps so that you can get to the destination that you desire. And I'm bringing this up specifically because in the last few episodes, I talked about the September eclipse portal that we went through. And so many people experienced September as a time of intensity and transformation. September was big. It was big for me, and it was big for a lot of other people. And eclipses in general, if you are not super into astrology, eclipses bring the energy of change. They can bring the energy of endings. They can bring the energy of revelations and the potential for new beginnings. And so if you reflect back on the month of September, consider if something was eclipsed out of your life, or did something new arrive that changed your course, that changed your plan, that gave you maybe a new destination that you want to begin moving towards and working towards. Either way, I am recording this podcast in October, the beginning of October. I actually took last week off from releasing a podcast just to have some time to orient for myself to this new month and to this new space that I'm in. Things are starting to settle. The dust is starting to settle. I shared in the last couple podcasts how something new came in for me. It's a new direction for the work that I'm going to be doing in the world, and I'm super excited about it, and I'm pursuing it. I think that because September was so transformative for so many people, we are now in the aftermath, right? Like I said, I'm orienting to the aftermath of those energies, letting the dust settle. I think what we need to do at this point in our journey, especially if you've been riding this wave with me through the eclipses and feeling a lot of changes, is that we need to start building bridges because we are in the space between, right? We're no longer where we've been. Things have released, things have shifted, new information has come in, but we're likely not where we want to be. We're likely not at that new destination yet. We are literally in the space between, and it's time to really build a bridge. And a bridge can be so many things. It can be a new version of yourself. It could be a new offer in your business, a new income stream, which is the case for me with what I'm going to be pursuing. A new way of being, right, can be the bridge. We build bridges all of the time as human beings. I think we build bridges all of the time as entrepreneurs, but a lot of the time we're not doing it consciously. We're not actually realizing that we're building a bridge because we are just living our life, and that is part of living life, right? Wherever you sit today, at some point in time, you built a bridge to get here. Bridges, they can be like a map, right? They can be a map for your transition to where you want to be. I'm bringing this up today because I think sometimes, especially in regards to how potent and powerful September was in terms of the changes and the transformations that dropped in for so many people, it can be a lot to take that new information in. It can be overwhelming sometimes. And if we don't have a map for where we're headed next, maybe this new vision dropped in, but we don't know how we're going to actually get there. And we're kind of in the surrendered space of trusting, like, wow, that dropped in, that felt right. I'm definitely going to move in the direction of that, but I don't know how yet. I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know how it's going to unfold. I don't really know how I'm going to get there. So without a map, right, your nervous system might be able to relax and just be in a surrendered space and trust. Or your nervous system might go a little bit into panic mode, not knowing what to expect, right? So a map, understanding how you're going to get from where you are now to this new vision, a map can really calm your mind and give you the direction that you need. It can also help you figure out, like, is this new destination an hour away? Do you just have to sit down on your computer and revamp your sales page, for example? And it's going to take you an hour. Okay, that new destination is an hour away. You can focus your energy accordingly and make it happen, right? Just need to map it out and do it. But maybe the destination or the goal, the new desire, this new place where you want to land it's going to take you a while to get there. It's like a year-long journey. Once you see the map for how you're going to get there, once you map it out, you start to build that bridge and you realize, wow, it's going to take me a year to get there. That information right there is so powerful, and that can help your mind start to understand this process. And then you can pace yourself. You can invest wisely so you don't burn out. We could also say, so you don't self-sabotage, so you don't quit. Right? If you don't understand that to get to your new destination, it's going to take you a year to get there. You might spend a month kind of moving in that direction in a loose way because you don't have a clear map laid out for yourself. And then you give up. You get tired. You burn out. You lose steam. You lose excitement. You don't understand the path. You don't understand how long it's going to take, and you end up quitting. And a lot of times we do that, right? We do that in our business. I know a lot of times, like, we get big ideas and then we actually start moving in that direction and it feels hard and we don't know if we're going to make it to the destination and we just quit. And I don't want you to quit. If you received something in the month of September that felt like a yes, that came in strong and that changed, the course of your life a little bit and started to point you in a new direction, I don't want you to quit. I think that thing that dropped in for you in September is your destiny. It's your new destiny. And let's just sort out the details, create a map, build a little bridge to get you there, whether it takes an hour or a year, right? You can still get there if you have the map. Let me walk you through these very, very simple steps. And again, this is something you do all the time, but it's good sometimes to take a little pause and to break things down and to look at things consciously, to look at the process consciously, to make it real. And I have 4 planets in Capricorn, and so I love to pull things out of thin air and make them real. Capricorn is an earth sign. I like to make things real in this practical, earthly plane. So step 1, right, if you are ready to build out your map to a new destination in your career, in your business, step 1 is to define your new destination. What is this new destination that you want to reach? What's the goal? What's the desire? Is it a pivot? Is it you course correcting and really beginning to head in a brand new direction? Is it a big dream that feels totally possible for you, or maybe it feels completely out of reach for you right now? Just get really specific. What's on the other side of the bridge? from where you currently stand. What's on the other side? Where are you headed? So get really clear about that. Define your new destination. And then step 2 is to just break it down into little baby steps. Months ago, I recorded a podcast about micro movements, baby steps. I think they are so powerful because big steps, quantum leaps, they're possible, but often when we attempt to take a quantum leap, we end up missing some of the groundwork that actually needs to take place so that when we land in that new destination, we can fully receive it. Quantum leaps are great. Sometimes they're possible. Sometimes they just happen and we land and we're ready for it. Sometimes they happen and we land in the new destination really quickly and things break down because we didn't do the groundwork. And the groundwork can be, these little baby steps that slowly help us build our capacity in our nervous system, that slowly help us see with our eyes that this is possible, this is real, and that can kind of help our brain and our mind begin to reframe things in our life, making it so, right? So the second step, listing out all of the little baby steps, all of the little micro movements that you need to take to get to where you want to be. Maybe you need to sign up for a new training. Maybe you need to revamp the back end systems in your business to support this shift. Maybe you just need to update your sales page. Maybe you need to tweak your messaging. What are all of the baby steps that are going to get you to that new place in your business that you want to be? And then the last step is to feel into the destination. This might be you doing a little meditation and visualizing yourself in this new destination, noticing how you look, how you're dressed, who's with you, what's the environment look like, what's your body language like, what are you doing, where are you? So visualizing this new destination, visualizing yourself on the other side of the bridge in this new place and noticing how that feels. You want to really let yourself marinate in the energy. Does it feel amazing? Or do you feel some resistance coming up? And you can really ask, when you do this third step, ask yourself to feel the truth of it, the day-to-day reality of it. Because some people are glass half full people, right? And some are glass half empty people. Depending on who you are, you might go to that final destination and be like, yes, it's going to be amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be making all this money and I'm just going to love it. It's going to feel so good. And you see that little slice of the pie. And that's what you're going with. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And some people are the opposite. Glass half empty. They're going to see everything that could go wrong when you're there. Like, okay, it's great. You've reached this new destination, but you have all these other issues or all these other problems. And,